WWE superstar Chris Benoit, his wife Nancy, and their son Daniel are dead.
From Chris Benoit's death, which still raises questions to this day, to Owen Hart's tragic fall that continues to spark debate and unanswered questions, to Hulk Hogan's sudden death that left his fans demanding answers, in this video, we're exploring some of the most mysterious deaths in wrestling history, starting with Chris Benoit. Born May 21, 1967, Chris Benoit was one of the most technically gifted performers ever to step into a WWE ring. But on June 24, 2007, at just 40 years old, his legacy was destroyed forever. Over 3 horrifying days, Benoit strangled his wife Nancy, suffocated his 7-year-old son Daniel, possibly after sedating him with Xanax, and hanged himself using a weight machine pulley. What makes this case profoundly mysterious is the role of brain damage. Post-mortem analysis showed severe CTE comparable to an 85-year-old with Alzheimer's. Adding intrigue, a Wikipedia edit about Nancy's death appeared hours before the bodies were discovered. WWE initially aired a tribute before knowing the full details.
WWE superstar Chris Benoit, his wife Nancy, and their son Daniel are dead. Their bodies were discovered this afternoon in their new suburban Atlanta home.
No suicide note was ever found. While Benoit's death shocked everyone, this next legend's passing in 2025 sparked an ongoing investigation. Hulk Hogan. Born August 11, 1953, Terry Bollea revolutionized wrestling as Hulk Hogan, becoming the industry's most recognizable face. On July 24, 2025, at 71 years old, Hogan passed away, but emerging details have cast a shadow of mystery over the circumstances. The official cause was acute myocardial infarction, but reports indicate he stopped breathing without typical heart attack symptoms. His daughter Brooke has sought answers through police body cam footage and 911 tapes. Allegations of surgical malpractice prompted an ongoing police investigation, with speculation fueled by his quick cremation. WWE honored his immense legacy.
Ladies and gentlemen, we lost one of the biggest and most globally recognized icons in the world. A man I grew up watching, was fortunate enough to share the ring with, and like so many of us, were honored to call a friend. The truth is, he captivated millions of people and inspired them around the globe.
If Hogan's death raised red flags, this next legend's passing traumatized viewers watching live. Owen Hart. Born May 7, 1965, Owen Hart was wrestling royalty whose high-flying brilliance earned him multiple championships. On May 23, 1999, at 34 years old, Owen died in front of a live pay-per-view audience at Kansas City's Kemper Arena in wrestling's most devastating tragedy. During Over the Edge, Owen was being lowered from the rafters as the Blue Blazer when the quick release mechanism malfunctioned, causing him to plummet 78 feet. The impact ruptured his aorta. The mystery surrounds the equipment. WWE opted for a cheaper sailboat clip instead of a professional stunt harness, sparking blame toward cost-cutting decisions. A criminal investigation followed, but no charges were filed. The Hart family sued and settled out of court. Persistent myths about unreleased footage add to the enigma, though WWE claims none exists of the fall itself. While Owen's death happened publicly, this next superstar's sudden passing left even those closest to him searching for answers. Bray Wyatt. Born May 23, 1987, Wyndham Rotunda captivated audiences as Bray Wyatt, creating unforgettable characters from cult leader to nightmarish fiend. On August 24, 2023, at just 36 years old, Bray died suddenly from a heart attack exacerbated by COVID-19 complications. He had been hospitalized a week prior for life-threatening heart issues and was prescribed an external defibrillator, but wasn't wearing it when he collapsed. COVID-19 weakened his heart, causing idiopathic cardiomyopathy, though details remain sparse. His Wyatt family brother Eric Rowan spoke about the devastating loss.
It's just one of those things. And with, the passing of John, Brodie, it was a shock. And then with Wyndham, it's like, you don't know where to start or begin. And it's one of those things that, when you experience loss, it's like you don't know how to react. and I still don't know how to react.
The mystery lies in his rapid decline despite reports of improving health and WWE return plans. If Bray's young age shocked fans, this next legend's heart gave out even earlier. Eddie Guerrero. Born October 9th, 1967, Eddie Guerrero brought unmatched charisma with his lie, cheat, steal persona, overcoming personal demons to become world champion. On November 13th, 2005, at 38 years old, Eddie was found dead in a Minneapolis hotel room by his nephew Chavo. The autopsy revealed acute heart failure from arteriosclerotic heart disease, linked to an enlarged heart from years of steroid and painkiller abuse, though he had been sober for 4 years. Eddie collapsed while brushing his teeth, and resuscitation attempts failed. Conspiracy theories emerged, including debunked claims that a JBL chair shot caused it. No substances were found in his system, yet the timing before a major event sparked questions about wrestling's grueling schedule. His widow Vicky confirmed signs of heart disease from past addictions, but mysteries about contributing factors persist. While Eddie's past abuse contributed to his death, this next performer's lungs failed without any clear explanation. Brodie Lee. Born December 16, 1979, John Huber was an imposing force as Luke Harper in WWE's Wyatt family and later Brodie Lee in AEW. On December 26, 2020, at 41 years old, Huber passed away from idiopathic pulmonary fibrosis, a rare lung disease causing irreversible scarring. Symptoms began in October 2020 during an AEW workout, initially mistaken for an ankle injury before breathing difficulties emerged. Doctors ruled out COVID-19 but confirmed the fibrosis was idiopathic, meaning the exact cause remained unknown despite extensive testing. The mystery stems from medical experts' inability to pinpoint triggers like environmental factors or wrestling-related injuries, though some speculate ring dust or physical strain contributed. His sudden AEW absence fueled speculation, kept private at his request. The rapid 2-month deterioration left many questioning if earlier detection could have changed everything. If Brodie Lee's diagnosis baffled doctors, this next wrestler's autopsy revealed something even more disturbing about his brain. Test. Born March 17, 1975, Andrew Martin rose to Attitude-era fame with his powerhouse style. On March 13, 2009, at 33 years old, Martin was found dead in his Tampa apartment after neighbors noticed 4 days of inactivity. The medical examiner ruled it an accidental oxycodone overdose from chronic pain management after injuries. But his brain donation revealed something chilling: advanced CTE comparable to much older athletes, raising questions about whether wrestling-induced brain damage fueled depression or addiction. Most haunting was his final interview weeks before death, where Martin discussed fearing an early demise like friends Chris Benoit and Brian Adams, both overdose victims. Police initially investigated foul play but found none, though isolation and delayed discovery fueled speculation about unreported struggles. While test CTE was discovered posthumously, this next Samoan warrior's death added fuel to whispers of a family curse. Umaga. Born March 28, 1973, Eddie Fatu brought ferocity to WWE as the Samoan Bulldozer, representing the storied Anoa'i wrestling family. On December 4, 2009, at 36 years old, Fatu suffered a massive heart attack that claimed his life. His wife found him unconscious with a bloody nose after he collapsed watching TV. The official cause was acute toxicity from hydrocodone, carisoprodol, and diazepam, combined with cardiovascular disease and liver failure. The drugs were at therapeutic levels individually, but lethal together. The mystery revolves around his WWE release in June 2009 after failing 2 drug tests. Reports suggest he refused rehab. Some speculate a family curse, given multiple Anoa'i deaths from heart issues. The bloody nose and rapid sequence of events left lingering doubts about unreported factors. If the Anoa'i family seemed cursed, this next legend's death proved that genetics can be equally unforgiving. Brian Pillman. Born May 22, 1962, the loose cannon blended high-flying moves with psychological storylines that blurred reality and performance. On October 5, 1997, at 35 years old, Pillman was discovered dead in a Minnesota hotel room just hours before a major pay-per-view. The autopsy found non-lethal traces of cocaine and painkillers, but the primary cause was coronary artery blockage from undetected arteriosclerotic heart disease, the same hereditary condition that killed his father young. His widow Melanie later revealed his hormone injections and pill dependency, speculating wrestling's demands worsened his condition. Conspiracy theories arose from WWE's live announcement of his death during that night's show. Some believed a broken heart from career frustrations played a role. No prior symptoms, and the timing amid his loose cannon gimmick blurred lines between persona and reality. While Pillman's demons remained hidden, this next WWE diva publicly battled hers before tragedy struck. Ashley Massaro. Born May 26, 1979, Ashley Massaro gained fame through WWE's Diva Search before appearing on Survivor. On May 16, 2019, at 39 years old, she died from apparent suicide by hanging at her Long Island home. Ashley battled depression, migraines, and suspected CTE from multiple concussions. Her brain was donated for research. Eerily, she filmed a suicide prevention PSA just days before her death, addressing mental health struggles. The mystery centers on her 2017 affidavit alleging by military personnel during a 2006 WWE tour in Kuwait, claiming WWE covered it up. This trauma, combined with the lawsuit's stress, left friends speculating about triggers. Before her passing, she reflected on her career.
You know what? Like, people have asked me this question before, and I feel like my answer is kind of like weird. But I feel like my biggest moment for me was my WrestleMania entrance. I know it's just an entrance, but just having made it to WrestleMania was so mind-blowing. I was just like, I can't believe I'm here.
If Ashley's story highlighted wrestling's mental toll, this next performer's death exposed the physical dangers of the hardcore style. Crash Holly. Born August 25, 1971, Michael Lockwood became beloved for his comedic hardcore style, innovating the 24/7 hardcore championship rule that led to memorable impromptu defenses. On November 6, 2003, at 32 years old, he was found dead in fellow wrestler Stevie Richards' Florida home after choking on his own vomit. The medical examiner ruled it suicide, finding an intentional overdose of over 90 painkiller pills mixed with alcohol. Lockwood had been struggling with depression amid a contentious divorce, financial issues, and painkiller dependency from wrestling injuries. Empty prescription bottles and half-consumed alcohol were found, but no suicide note. The mysterious aspects include debates over whether it was truly intentional or accidental, as peers like Al Snow argued his upbeat demeanor days prior suggested otherwise. The timing shortly after his WWE release added speculation about industry pressures contributing to his demise. While Crash Holly's small frame belied his toughness, this next legend's massive size became his greatest burden. Yokozuna. Born October 2, 1966, Rodney Anoa'i dominated WWE as the sumo-inspired behemoth Yokozuna, winning 2 WWF championships and headlining WrestleMania events. On October 23, 2000, at just 34 years old, he died in his sleep from pulmonary edema while on tour at a Liverpool, England hotel. Weighing around 580 pounds, Anoa'i had been struggling with obesity-related health issues, including high blood pressure and heart strain. He was discovered by a tour promoter after failing to respond to calls, with no signs of trauma or overdose. Mysterious elements stem from conflicting reports initially listing heart failure as the primary cause. Persistent theories invoke a Samoan family curse, given the Anoa'i dynasty's history of early deaths. Questions arose about whether WWE's push for his supersized gimmick indirectly led to unchecked weight gain. If Yokozuna's size contributed to his demise, this next British powerhouse's steroid use raised similar questions. Davey Boy Smith. Born November 27, 1962, the British Bulldog was celebrated for his strength and memorable Intercontinental Championship win at SummerSlam 1992. On May 18, 2002, at 39 years old, he suffered a fatal heart attack while vacationing in British Columbia, Canada. The inquest revealed an enlarged heart from long-term anabolic steroid use, combined with possible painkiller influences from his injury-plagued career, including a severe 1998 WCW trapdoor incident that led to addiction. Smith collapsed suddenly during a walk with his girlfriend Andrea Hart. Mysterious aspects include initial reports suggesting choking or foul play, prompting a police investigation, later dropped. Conflicting eyewitness accounts from family fueled rumors about a steroid cocktail or unreported drug interaction. His son Harry later speculated wrestling's physical demands masked underlying issues that went undetected. While Davey Boy's heart gave out unexpectedly, this next wrestler's routine surgery led to a shocking complication. Candido. Born March 21, 1972, Chris Candido earned acclaim for his technical prowess in ECW, often teaming with Tammy Sunny Sitch. On April 28, 2005, at 33 years old, he died from acute pneumonia caused by a blood clot following surgery for a severe leg injury sustained at TNA's Lockdown PPV. Candido broke his tibia, fibula, and dislocated his ankle when Lance Hoyt landed awkwardly on him. He underwent surgery and appeared mobile post-op, even attending TNA events on crutches, but collapsed at home when a clot traveled to his lungs. The mysterious elements revolve around the swift deterioration. As peers noted, he seemed in good spirits just days prior. Sitch later claimed inadequate medical follow-up by TNA, and some speculated his history of drug use weakened his system, though the autopsy ruled out overdose. If Chris Candido's death seemed preventable, this next icon's passing was sadly inevitable, given his untreated condition. Andre the Giant. Born May 19, 1946, Andrei Rousimov became a global phenomenon whose immense size made him wrestling's greatest attraction, headlining WrestleMania 3 and starring in The Princess Bride. On January 28, 1993, at 46 years old, he passed away from congestive heart failure in his sleep at a Paris hotel. The condition stemmed from untreated acromegaly, a hormonal disorder causing excessive growth that enlarged his organs and strained his heart. Weighing over 500 pounds, Andre had long ignored medical advice to treat it surgically, fearing it would end his career. Vince McMahon reflected on this immeasurable loss.
Did Andre's passing affect you more than other passings that you've experienced?
More than one.
More than other passings that you've
Oh, God. He was special.
Mysterious aspects include urban legends about calculating anesthesia doses based on alcohol tolerance and his secret cremation per his will. Some speculate grief from his father's funeral exacerbated his heart issues. While Andre's condition was known, this next ECW icon's death caught everyone completely off guard. Mike Awesome. Born January 24, 1965, Michael Alfonso was renowned for his high-impact style in ECW, where he held the World Heavyweight Championship. On February 17, 2007, at 42 years old, he was found hanging in his Tampa, Florida home, with the death officially ruled a suicide. Alfonso had retired from wrestling earlier that year, citing frustrations with WWE's underpayment and creative direction, while dealing with divorce and financial strain. He left no note, but friends recalled his despondent mood in the weeks prior. The mysterious aspects center on potential CTE from his hardcore career, including infamous high-risk spots like balcony dives, which peers speculated contributed to depression. No brain study was ever conducted. His sudden retirement and timing amid ECW revival discussions added intrigue, with no prior public signs of suicidal ideation reported. If Mike Awesome's death was self-inflicted, this next wrestler sacrificed himself to save another. Shad Gaspard. Born January 13, 1981, Shad Gaspard brought street-smart charisma to WWE as half of Crime Time before transitioning to Hollywood. On May 17, 2020, at 39 years old, he drowned in a rip current at Venice Beach, California, while swimming with his 10-year-old son, Arya. When lifeguards arrived, Gaspard instructed them to save his son first. They rescued Arya, but Shad was swept out to sea. His body washed ashore 3 days later near the Venice fishing pier. The incident occurred during rough waters with waves up to 6 feet. Mysterious elements include varying eyewitness accounts describing the chaos, with speculation about whether beach warnings were adequate. The delayed body recovery fueled brief conspiracy theories online before confirmation. His heroic final words prioritizing his son cemented his legacy, though questions about the circumstances persist. While Shad died a hero, this next Von Erich's death added to one of wrestling's most haunting legacies. Kerry Von Erich. Born February 3, 1960, Kerry Adkisson was a charismatic star from the legendary Von Erich family, winning the NWA World Heavyweight Championship and WWE's Intercontinental title as the Texas Tornado. On February 18, 1993, at 33 years old, he committed suicide by shooting himself on his father's Texas ranch. Kerry had battled severe pain and addiction following a 1986 motorcycle accident that led to the amputation of his right foot, which he hid from fans to maintain his career. A recent drug possession arrest threatened prison time. The mysterious aspects revolve around the infamous Von Erich curse, a perceived supernatural pattern claiming 5 of 6 brothers, through suicides, overdoses, and unexplained illnesses. Theories range from genetic predispositions to drug cover-ups. Kerry left no note but had confided to friends about feeling imminent death. If the Von Erich curse seemed supernatural, this next performer's demons were all too real. Sean O'Haire. Born February 25, 1971, Sean O'Haire impressed with his athletic build and charismatic devil's advocate vignettes in WWE before venturing into MMA. On September 8, 2014, at 43 years old, he died by suicide, hanging himself at his South Carolina home, discovered the next day by his father. O'Haire had a history of legal troubles, including multiple assaults on women linked to aggression, possibly from concussions, and had entered WWE rehab 6 times for painkillers and mental health issues post-release. Mysterious elements include speculation about CTE causing behavioral changes and depression, echoed in cryptic social media posts hinting at turmoil. His what-if potential as a star contrasted with a post-WWE decline, fueling theories of industry neglect or unreported brain damage. While Sean O'Haire's potential went unfulfilled, this next WWE legend fought publicly against a different enemy entirely: Earthquake. Born June 22, 1963, John Tenta dominated WWE as the villainous Earthquake, squashing opponents with his devastating splash and forming the Natural Disasters Tag Team. On June 7, 2006, at 42 years old, he succumbed to bladder cancer after a 2-year battle. Tenta publicly documented his fight on his website, noting a lump discovered during a routine exam. He continued indie appearances until weakened, undergoing chemotherapy and surgery before entering hospice care as the cancer metastasized. While not highly mysterious, questions linger about whether his sumo and wrestling careers, involving heavy physical strain and possible steroid use, contributed to the cancer's onset at such a young age. His posthumous 2025 WWE Hall of Fame induction highlighted unresolved debates about long-term health risks in wrestling. If Earthquake's battle was prolonged, this next legend's death came without any warning whatsoever. Randy Savage. Born November 15, 1952, Macho Man, Randy Savage electrified audiences with his colorful persona, devastating elbow drops, and iconic promos across WWE and WCW. On May 20, 2011, at 58 years old, he died from a sudden heart attack while driving his Jeep in Seminole, Florida, causing him to crash into a tree. The autopsy revealed atherosclerotic cardiovascular disease with a 90% blocked artery, ruling the crash incidental. His wife Lynn survived with minor injuries. His brother Lanny Poffo later revealed ventricular fibrillation arrhythmia as the trigger. Mysterious aspects include debates about long-term steroid use contributing to his enlarged heart, though not directly proven. Hulk Hogan mourned the loss of his former rival.
After over 10 years of not talking with Randy, we finally started to talk and communicate. And he had so much life in his eyes and his spirit. I just pray that he's happy and in a better place, and we miss him.
While Savage's heart failed suddenly, this next enforcer's death was equally unexpected. Big Boss Man. Born May 2, 1963, Ray Traylor portrayed the nightstick-wielding corrections officer Big Boss Man, known for feuds with Hulk Hogan and memorable tag team success. On September 22, 2004, at 41 years old, he passed away suddenly from a massive heart attack at his Dallas, Georgia home while his sister was visiting. Paramedics could not revive him, and the coroner confirmed apparent heart failure. Traylor had no reported prior health complaints, leaving peers stunned. He left behind a wife and 2 young daughters. The mystery lies in the abruptness at such a young age, with initial reports varying on exact circumstances. Some mentioned he was found unresponsive in bed. Speculation points to an enlarged heart from possible steroid use during his career, similar to contemporaries, though no autopsy details were publicly released. His quiet post-retirement life contrasted sharply with his in-ring persona. If Big Boss Man's death shocked America, this next luchador's passing stunned Mexico. Hector Garza. Born November 27, 1969, Hector Solano Segura shone as a dynamic luchador in CMLL and WWE, celebrated for his innovative moonsault and high-flying brilliance during brief WWE, WCW, and TNA stints. On May 26, 2013, at 43 years old, he succumbed to lung cancer at his home in Quintana Roo, Mexico. Garza had battled the disease for nearly 2 years after diagnosis in 2011, retiring in October 2012 to undergo chemotherapy. Despite treatment treatment, the cancer progressed rapidly, and he passed surrounded by family. The mysterious elements include the young age for lung cancer without any reported smoking history, leading to speculation about environmental factors like arena exposure or genetic predispositions. His charisma masked the severity until late stages, and some questioned if wrestling injuries delayed proper diagnosis. While Hector Garza fought his illness publicly, this next wrestler's death came amid post-Benoit scrutiny. Bryan Adams. Born January 14, 1964, Bryan Adams portrayed the rugged Crush in WWE, excelling in tag teams like Demolition with a physique honed from bodybuilding. On August 13, 2007, at 43 years old, he was found dead in his Tampa, Florida home after his wife noticed he wasn't breathing. The autopsy ruled it an accidental overdose from buprenorphine, carisoprodol, and sedatives, all at therapeutic levels individually, but lethal combined. Adams had retired in 2003 due to a spinal injury, relying on medications for chronic pain. Mysterious aspects stem from the initial inconclusive autopsy, delaying the cause announcement amid post-Benoit scrutiny on wrestler deaths. Questions arose about whether depression or unreported CTE contributed. His death paralleled others in 2007, amplifying industry drug concerns. If Bryan Adams fell victim to prescription combinations, this next performer's death remains obscured by limited documentation. Billy Travis. Born April 28, 1961, Gary Keith Mize was a prominent heel in USWA and CWA, known for villainous work and controversial angles like a live TV arrest for child support. On November 23, 2002, at 41 years old, he died from a heart attack while visiting his mother in Tennessee, possibly preceded by a stroke. Found unresponsive, Travis was pronounced dead at the hospital. He had a history of health issues, including later speculated Parkinson's and dementia, but no detailed autopsy was widely shared. The mystery involves conflicting reports, with some sources mentioning a prior suicide attempt during a 1997 jail arrest, though unlinked to his death. Questions persist about wrestling's toll, drug use, or genetic factors contributing to his young demise. His indie circuit struggles added to the enigma of overlooked wrestler health. While Billy Travis toiled in obscurity, this next ECW original made a bigger name, but met a similarly tragic end. Big Dick Dudley. Born March 7, 1967, Alex Rizzo pioneered the hardcore style in ECW as part of the Dudley Boys family, known for his imposing size and chokeslams. On May 16, 2002, at 34 years old, he died from kidney failure in Copiague, New York, after complaining of severe stomach pains that escalated rapidly. Rizzo was taken to the hospital where doctors confirmed organ failure and an autopsy verified the cause. The pains began suddenly, leading to his collapse despite medical intervention. Mysterious aspects include speculation from wrestling insiders about heavy steroid, painkiller, and recreational drug use weakening his kidneys, though no toxicology report was publicly detailed. His young age and rapid onset without prior complaints fueled theories about ECW's extreme matches causing long-term damage. If Big Dick Dudley's organs failed without warning, this next Road Warrior's heart gave out just as suddenly. Road Warrior Hawk. Born September 12, 1957, Michael Hegstrand revolutionized tag team wrestling as Road Warrior Hawk, donning spiked shoulder pads and face paint alongside Animal for dominant runs across WWE, WCW, and AWA. On October 19, 2003, at 46 years old, he suffered a fatal heart attack, dying in his sleep at his Florida home. An autopsy confirmed the massive cardiac event. Hawk had been retired and focusing on recovery from substance abuse, appearing healthy in recent interviews. The mysterious elements revolve around his heavy drug and alcohol use in the 1980s-90s, which many believe weakened his heart prematurely. Adding controversy, a 1998 WWE storyline mocked his real-life addictions, airing weeks before an actual overdose scare. No prior symptoms were reported, leaving speculation about undetected conditions or steroid effects. While Hawk's lifestyle took its toll, this next Anoa'i family member's heart condition was well documented yet still claimed him young. Rosey. Born April 22, 1970, Matt Anoa'i represented the legendary Anoa'i family in WWE, famous for his superhero gimmick in 3-Minute Warning and as Roman Reigns' brother. On April 17, 2017, at 47 years old, he died from congestive heart failure in a Pensacola, Florida hospital. Rosey had battled the condition for years, linked to atrial fibrillation and obesity, having been hospitalized since 2014 for related issues. Initial reports withheld the cause, but family later confirmed heart disease exacerbated by chronic knee problems and diabetes. Mysterious aspects include the Anoa'i family curse narrative, with multiple relatives dying young from heart issues, prompting theories of genetic factors or wrestling's physical strain. Some speculated steroid involvement, though unproven. The sudden worsening despite treatment left fans questioning if earlier intervention could have helped. If Rosey's death continued a family pattern, this next female pioneer's passing exposed her private battles. Luna Vachon. Born January 12, 1962, Gertrude Wilkerson was a trailblazing performer known for her wild, mohawked persona, blending hardcore brawling with managerial roles in feuds like Bam Bam Bigelow's. On August 27, 2010, at 48 years old, she was found dead at her mother's Florida home from an accidental overdose of oxycodone and benzodiazepines. Investigators discovered crushed pills suggesting snorting, alongside a bloody pool indicating possible internal issues. Luna battled bipolar disorder and addiction, exacerbated by wrestling injuries. Her ex-husband Gangrel reflected on her struggles.
So when you throw all the drugs mixed in her in the end, she's my best friend. We still talk like every 2 weeks, you know, after, like I'd still talk to her. Like, we just couldn't get over stuff anymore, especially with all the drugs being involved, you know, so.
And I guess ultimately that's what led to her passing.
Yeah. The scene raised questions about intent versus accident, though it was ruled overdose. While Luna's size was average, this next giant's massive frame became his greatest health risk. Viscera. Born February 14, 1971, Nelson Frazier Jr. evolved from Mabel in Men on a Mission to the Gothic Viscera in WWE's Ministry of Darkness, known for his devastating splash finisher. On February 18, 2014, at 43 years old, he died from a massive heart attack in Memphis, Tennessee, just days after his birthday. Frazier collapsed at home, with obesity, high blood pressure, and diabetes as contributing factors. Weighing over 500 pounds, his condition was linked to long-term health neglect. Mysterious aspects include his widow's wrongful death lawsuit against WWE, alleging concealment of wrestling risks like CTE and heart strain from steroids. The suit was dismissed but highlighted post-Benoit scrutiny. Some questioned if a recent shower triggered the attack, and his cremation with ashes placed in pendants added personal enigma. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed watching this video, click on one of the boxes playing on your screen to watch more similar content.